Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my channel. Just a brief live on a topic that has captivated the imagination of all of us in professional worlds, in creative worlds. People are thinking they're going to lose jobs because of artificial intelligence. They're forgetting some crucial aspects which I want to present in this short live. And I call that becoming a multi-sensory aware human. And I'll explain this to you in a minute, what I mean by this term over here. Okay. So let's look at this. Now we have the creative intelligence, okay, on top here, right? This is the creative intelligence. This is the human being. This is you and me. This is all 8 billion of us. Yeah. And here we have developed some technology called artificial intelligence, which is nothing but a bunch of neural networks interfacing or taking data from an established, already learned base of all human knowledge. Let's keep it that simple, minus all the jargon. Jargon doesn't help any of us, right? This technology was developed, I remember, way back about 10 years ago. I read it in the Scientific American magazine about neural nets, almost about 15 years ago now. And I was like, this is fascinating. Artificial intelligence, neural net. What is a neural net? This is back in 2005, I would guess, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. So neural net was being tested in the Cambridge, okay, for how to function and how it was being in testing phases, developmental research phase, that kind of a thing. It had not yet come anywhere in mainstream. Now fast forward, here we are in 2023, embedding it into our internet, social media, search engines. We are going to further continue using this. And of course, there'll be regulatory reforms and all kinds of policies in place for companies making this, for users having this. All that is fine. This is just a technological progress. Let's flow with it. But in this one, let us briefly examine what is creative intelligence first. Where is the human being fit in all this? And where does artificial intelligence work with the human in all this? And I submit to you this. Creative intelligence is who you are. It is the stem of consciousness from where you work. It's what we are born with as continuous explorers in this world. We are explorers, each one of us. Artificial intelligence, on the other hand, has the repository of all the past human knowledge and is continuously learning machine. That's what neural net does. It's a learning machine. It is learning from the human. So we can have a closed system of feedback and assist like this, as I have shown, where artificial intelligence is assisting the human in furthering their own creative intelligence, developing new forms of art, be it science, be it art, be it chemistry, physics, biology, finance, economics, all areas of human knowledge and learning. Basically, it is assisting, like the chat GPT and many other forms which will evolve. So it's an assistance. Rather than being your master, it is assisting you in providing the information. Think of it like a butler. Think of it like a butler who's smart, who knows how to cook your food, and he's serving you. You are the master, you are the creative intelligence. On the other hand, you are also telling your butler, which is artificial intelligence in this case, you're giving it feedback. You're saying, do this for me, do that for me, make me a cup of tea, or make me a nice cup of coffee. If AI is embedded in the coffee machine, for instance, you see how the human living itself might change substantially, right? So we are going to examine the creative intelligence part itself and how it plays a role in the interaction and feedback with the artificial intelligence. Okay, so here we go. Remove this guy, we'll remove all this other stuff, and we will get to the human brain. So let's stick the human brain over there. So let's first understand how your brain works. And I will use the model of neuro-linguistic programming over here for simplicity, because it's quite well known, well established. Okay, so how does the neuro-linguistic system of programming tie into human creative intelligence? Well, brain works basically by three inputs according to this science. One is the audio. So audio feedback, what we listen with our ears, and our internal thought processing, which is also termed as audio digital in the jargon of neuro-linguistic programming. The second part where we understand the world through our brain is the visual. Okay, the visual part, the visual cortex, the frontal cortex. Okay, that's the second receptacle. The third part, what we understand, is called the kinesthetic. Okay, the touch factor. So what you hear, what you see, and what you have been touched or feel. Kinesthetic can be even physically touched. Kinesthetic can be even touched as in emotionally. I was touched by the gesture the gentleman was showing me on the subway, for example. Okay, so this three factors is the well-known science of neuro-linguistic programming. It's nothing new here I'm sharing. I'm just trying to extend this to become a multi-sensory aware human. So this begs the question, how does the creative intelligence play in here? Creativity asks the question, what new thing have you listened to which you never thought of today? Are you exposing yourself to some new kind of podcast, a new kind of listening? Are you learning something new by hearing it? Faculty of your ears and the faculty of your mind, as in the thought process in your brain, the neural pathways, so to speak, and you are taking that and understanding it in a new way. Okay, it has to be new. Human beings crave everything new. We don't even have the same thing between breakfast, lunch and dinner. That's how dynamic the human brain is, the mind is. Same with the visual part. What new thing have you watched, observed today? Just for today. Remember, this keyword here is today. We are just doing everything, all these exercises just for today. Last part, the kinesthetic part. What have you been touched by today? As in even feeling, as in who has even physically touched you, as in even who has touched you emotionally. Have you felt touched by something? Has something moved inside you? This is the human brain. Now, it's not just enough understanding the human brain, we have to stick the heart somewhere here. Okay, so let's bring in Mr. Heart. Understanding how your heart is receiving the brain. Heart is a receptacle. It creates every kind of human emotion there is from what it receives from the brain. Heart is a receiving center. So let's see what the heart does. Okay, so the heart, if the brain asks the question that what new thing have I listened to today which I never thought of before, the heart asks the question, is this making me happy now? Heart only understands emotion. Heart doesn't understand other things. If I ask the visual question, what new thing have you watched or observed today? Now the heart will ask, does this feel expansive? Visual range, you got to understand the sensory aspect of the visual cortex. It is only looking for expansion. It is why people feel nice when they get out of their house or home or office into open spaces, into gardens, into nature, or just into a beach, for example. It creates a wide open space for the visual senses to scan. People feel claustrophobic in a tight space because of this very nature of us as human beings. You go outside, you go for a walk, you go out into open spaces, or even stand on the terrace in your apartment, for example. You look at the sky, you look at the clouds. Does this feel expansive is what the visual part of the heart is asking you. These questions in mind from the heart side to the brain. Now let's take the kinesthetic part. What have you been touched by today? So more connected. Heart is looking for connection. We are looking for connection with one another all the time. We are a gregarious species as humans. We are looking for bonding with one another, be it workplace, be it friends, be it family, and so on. So that's what these things I wanted to leave you with. Heart and the brain must be connected, it must be interconnected. This guy must overlap with that guy.